2017 Azerbaijan Grand Prix live from Baku City Circuit in Azerbaijan's capital, Baku. You join us for the 8th round of this 17th season of STB, and we're here, a track which is normally at the beginning of the season, but it's a bit pushed back this season, and it's round 8. The drivers last week, they had to navigate through the streets of Monaco, and the FIA have now made the drivers have to navigate the streets of Azerbaijan. You join me with Rigsiet back in the commentary box here this evening, and he is ready, I'm sure, for this Grand Prix. Rigsiet, how you feeling? And what are your thoughts about the Baku City Circuit?
Just firstly, I just want to say it's great to be back once again in the commentary booth. I'm not the biggest fan of the Baku circuit, but it always provides good racing, surprisingly, because of the nature of the circuit. It's a very, it's street circuit, it's very similar to Monaco, and it does for the walls are really on the edge of the circuit, very little room for manoeuvre. And the track is most famous for its extremely tight technical castle section, where it is just going to be single file traffic, and if one person makes a mistake through there in a train of traffic, then we can expect to see a safety car or two for that. So I feel like there will be a lot of difficulty trying to get it flat out there in qualifying and to get it right for 26 consecutive laps. The weather doesn't really normally play up too much here in Azerbaijan. It always is dry, and once again in qualifying we can see the sun is shining down on the city, so that just kind of shows us what there is to come in terms of this session. We don't really know what the weather is for the race, we don't have a telemetry for that, but I wouldn't be too surprised if this would be less the same as it is just now.
Definitely, obviously Baku, I believe, has one of the longest straights on the Formula 1 calendar, so that it's going to be very important to set up the car rigs. How important is setup going to be to maximise the straight line speed for the long straight?
I think setting your car up for the long straight is really what you're kind of want to do anyway, because it is the longest straight. It was the longest straight until Vietnam came on the calendar. I think Vietnam just edges it, but you really want to make sure that you've got a skinny enough front wing on the car to make sure you're getting enough speed and acceleration underneath the car to push it along. So what that means is, like, you want to have the car riding as low to the ground, so the air travel between the ground and the bottom of your car is minimalised, and the smaller that gap is, the quicker the air particles will move underneath the car and push it along, essentially. So you really want it to be low for the big straights, so you can capitalise on your top end engine speed as well. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see a lot of slipstreaming. The big DRS zone is there as well. Sector 1 as well is even an overtaking point into turn 3 as well. I feel like they're the main overtaking points. So when there'll be a lot of battling for turn 15 at the end of the second sector, all the way through to turn 3 in the first sector.
Definitely. So we can see Monaco was actually quite not that eventful actually in Tier 1. We had obviously the battle at the front, but there wasn't, in terms of crashes, there wasn't actually that many. Whereas Tier 2 was a whole madness. But we're here in Azerbaijan. What's the possibility of any crashes? Because that castle section, we've had it in STB before, a big crash a few seasons ago. So yeah, what are your thoughts about crashing around this?
Really easy to do. It's the same as Monaco. Like, I don't think it's not as difficult as Monaco, purely because in Baku you have some breathing room still. The roads are quite wide. The turns aren't as tight. It's no a principality as well. So that's another thing that kind of has gone for it as well. But going through turn 8, you just kind of have to hope that coming through turn 7, like on the wee right-hander before coming up to the castle section, you need to have the confidence just to throw the car in. You normally hit about 5th gear you normally just do it upshift into fifth gear before turning in for the castle section. So you needed the confidence just to do a quick double flick into third and just swing the car in without hitting the wall on the inside. It kind of does stick out in a bit, in a sense, and the wall on the right hand side that just has this weird kind of bit of, I don't know how you really put it, as a wee bit of, how do you really, what's the word, there's a word I'm looking for, right, but for lack of a better word, I'll just say it just, there's a bit of a jink in it, it just kind of sticks out, and then it dives back into the wall, so there's a wee bit on the right hand side that just sticks out a wee bit essentially. So drivers will be looking to avoid that as well. If they avoid the entry, I doubt they'll really crash midway, if that makes sense. I don't think there'll be any incidents after like the second part of the castle section. It's all about just getting the entry right, and it is so easy to say it rather than do it, because even the best make that mistake.
Yeah, also that castle section is very iconic. Obviously we've got the modern part of Baku, and then we've got the historic part of Baku. So I suppose that is very special to have, but obviously yeah, I mean, it's a very special part of the circuit, really, but very what's the word? Well, you can crash there easily, so yeah. But anyway, Bruno Will is on P1, just under 137.5. I can't get the words out then. Second is STB Zitzi. Bruno Will looks like he's on the pace again here in Azerbaijan, Zitzi.
Bruno Will was, he did good the last time out as well. He was matching pace with his teammate, and we had Jamham as well, giving the two Mercedes drivers a bit of hassle last week as well in Monte Carlo. But Bruno Will, hasn't really been, in the last couple of races, like in Monaco and Spain, he hasn't really been the standout Mercedes driver that he has been at the start of the season. Like, we've seen Hamjam really starting to give him a run for his money at this stage in the season, and he'll be looking to continue on that. But Bruno Will is real, if he's really want to kind of solidify his stake in the championship battle, then he's going to have to start picking some results again and try and suppress the charge that his teammates put him, because his teammate is definitely, I would argue, the driver that's on form at the minute.
Yeah, who's that? Sorry, Hamjam.
Hamjam, man.
Yeah, currently in P4, Riggsy. Obviously, he could have got the victory in Monaco, but the strategy really did let him down. Billy WF has picked up gone up into P number 3 there, so that's decent from the McLaren. He's definitely been showing in his practice runs, Riggsy, that he is very strong around this Baku circuit. So I am really, really looking forward to see what Billy can do. And also, something I didn't actually point out in Monaco, they've now got the Rainbow McLaren. That's a good addition to the game now, because they've actually done the update. So yeah, I'm really rooting for Billy here in Baku, Riggsy. P3 of them.
It's in a professional respect. We know he's good. Like, we know he is formerly known as Urban Unicorn. I don't know how many times we keep reiterating that throughout the season, but we know he can win races. We know he can compete at the front. But this season, this game, he's just not really got that rhythm. So hopefully he can carry that momentum forward into the race. He always has he's had decent qualifying results in the last couple of races, but his race pace is just kind of seemed that it's been absent from his expertise. So he'll be really looking to try and get a kind of grasp on his performance again and try and bring some results in. I don't think this season will be anything to write home about for him, but I think he'll really just want to have strong results here and there, pick up points here and there, and just build his confidence back up before some challenge once again. I think that might be next season type of thing for him if he's still here.
Mercury, Big C. has gone on to P2, and he was not looking forward to this track. So that is a strong performance right there from very strong.
Baku again really feeds into the idea, like most street circuits do, like it's a confidence-based performance the drivers put in, like so what that means is, like, because there's such a threat in damaging the car at any point on tracks like Monaco, Baku, Canada, we'll be going to Canada next week, Singapore, like even Russia as well, like I'm trying to think the other tracks that have was right next to the track, like, but
Vietnam,
because there's just such Vietnam, there was in Australia, there was like a couple that were escaping my mind there, but like see tracks like that, the street circuits, like you'll know, like see if you can brush the wall without picking up any damage and maximising your lap time, getting as close to the wall, carrying as much speed through these corners, like actually riding the car right on the edge is going to be enough to get you at least a half-second advantage over others who struggle to kind of find their grip on the circuit, because lap times are more valued in street circuits as well, because track position has more value to it, because there's such limitation on how many overtaking options is going to be in the actual race itself. But it's going to be just a matter like who's going to get close enough to the wall, who's going to ride the curbs with an extra bit of grunted speed, and who's going to be a bit more aggressive and properly attack the qualifying lap. And that's what's going to make the difference between who's going to sit on pole and even who's going to sit in fifth. Like, I think there will be like a big gap at the front between like the top group and the midfield group. I think there will be a more distinctive gap than there is at normally other circuits.
Yes. Talking of gaps, Rick, it's actually very close in the top 11, raced out by a second. That's interesting to see.
Aye, it's definitely going to look close. In that top 11, it kind of looks like that pack is definitely not the be all and end all. We've still just got under 4 minutes left in the session, including final qualifying runs as well. Also, drivers in the 139s, 140s, 12 onwards, they'll definitely be looking to improve, because you kind of want to be in a high 37 for a good result. Bruno Will was doing really well to set the bar quite early on with a 137.5, and he's 2/10 faster than Mercury and his teammate Hamdan as well. So Bruno Will really
I'm still really quite surprised, about Mercury's lap time. P2, that is strong, because I was doing practice with him before this Grand Prix, and he was moaning. Well, not moaning, but he wasn't very confident ahead of this race. So that's going to give him a lot of confidence here in Baku. But a driver that I want to put emphasis on at the moment is Cherkam. He hasn't raced a lot this season because he's had lots of things going on. He's back tonight, P7 at the moment. That's a decent return, that is.
A 30.0 is enough for P7, and it is just quicker than LMT fly as well. So strong showing for Chukka as well. Like, Chukka's one of the drivers as well. Like, he's kind of on the same boat as Billy. Like, we know he does have like results in him, and he does have standout performances, but it's kind of just been like he's been in a rough patch, and he is definitely going to be trying to try and improve and try and find some momentum back. There is drivers in this season that are just looking for
Bruno Will
challengers.
Bruno Will has gone P1, 137.252 there. That's a strong lap there from him. Pole position.
And it's even faster. Billy WF goes up to P3 as well, Maldi. I just caught that there as well. So we've got Bruno Will and Billy WF improving similar times. Yellow flags out in sector 1, I think that is just traffic. Victor McFly is coming up to the line. He's not going to have any slipstream to help him along. He's going to have to pierce the hole through the air himself with his own front line, so it'll slow him down a wee bit on the straight, but he's going to just keep the car to the far side. 500ths of a second improvement sees him in P9. I don't think he moved anywhere really. Maldi, one person as well, quickly before we get into the squeaky bum time of the session, as I like to call it, but Davidson's in 10th. And he's been somebody who's really not been on the ball either.
Monaco, he wasn't on it, was he?
No, he definitely wasn't. He was just running his own race on P7, I think. I think he was doing his own race.
Yeah, it was really. Also, he needs to win this race. He needs to beat Bruno Will, and I don't think that's going to be possible personally, because he's really, really struggling.
We'll see. He is coming up to the second sector delta line just after the turn 14 here, so we'll see what his delta time is, and we'll see how much an improvement it really is with his time. It looks to be up a half a second. That will put him in the region where Mercury, Billy and Hamjam are sitting, so he is definitely looking to improve and put himself up to the front. And that straight there, the left right, did look quite smooth and quite fresh. He does have the faint slipstream with the Ferrari ahead as well, so this could help him improve his time fractionally. A 37.4 does put him on the front row, but everybody is still, there is still some drivers out.
Mercury, sorry, Richie, sorry, I'm really sorry. Mercury was up in the first sector as well. He's on a good lap.
I'm on board with Mercury now, Maldi. He is coming into the second sector delta line. He is up by 25 hundredths a second. It's
down
from
the last sector too.
And it's not going to be too great. He did have a lock-up going into 14 there when I jumped on board, and that definitely wouldn't have helped too much. He had to kill a lot of speed there just to make sure he wasn't hitting the wall. And it's the same thing again, just up to the line. The checkered flag is out and waving, so he is going to stay in third position. We've got Seatsay, who is
did improve though.
He is improving. It did say he was only done by 300ths of a second, but he is looking quick once again through the left and right of 16 and 17 up to the the finishing line. He's got the Haas in front. They are very faint slipstream, just helping him out again. Up to the line is a 37.7, and it's fifth fastest. Anybody else out on a lap? Maldi, two Ferraris are both improving on the laps, up by 0.3 of a second. It's not really going to amount to too much in the grand scheme of things, but we'll see it out as it's going to be Daigoro coming up to the line. DRS is going to be open just now. The flap opens at that line.
This is not real life, this is Roxy.
Just very much like real life, that Ferrari just isn't packing any serious straight line speed. Jill, this will be the last person to set a time, and he backs it right at the last minute. He literally just slams on the brake just before the line and opts to start P16 and last.
Wow, that's very realistic for Ferrari. Very realistic. Anyway, Rixie, P1 is Bruno Well. Second, Jamham. We missed that. Jamham P2. Third, Davizin. Fourth, Mercury. He'll be very happy with that qualifying position. Fifth, STB Zitsi. Sixth, Billy. 10th is Hamjam. 8th is Cherka. 9th is Victor McFly. 10th is Victor. 11th, Kevin. 12th, Danny. 13th, VC. Not what he needs. 14th, Daigoro. 15th is Matty. And 16th will be Joel, running up the back of the field in Azerbaijan.
And that'll be interesting as well. Jamham once again looking like he is on the pace and on the front row. His brother, however, is starting in quite a lowly 7 for him. Like, he is, it's a bit, it's kind of become unfamiliar territory for the Mercedes driver. He has always seen himself at the front of the field this season. So starting at P7, he'll kind of feel a bit out his depth. So he'll be one to watch coming into the race. But looking at the race director, Maldi, top 10 will have to start on softs. That is the tyre they set their laps on. But everybody outside the top 10, so that's Kevin, DJ Danny, VZ, Daigoro, Matty Banta, and Jildis, all opted to start on the hard compound tyre, planning to go slow at the start and be fast at the end. So a complete split in strategy there between the drivers on the grid, and it doesn't really look like the weather's going to be playing too much a part in this race either. It's just the same conditions as we had in qualifying, sunny blue skies, and that will mean some good warm track temperature as well, which will help the drivers get their car into an optimal window. So the drivers will embark on their formation lap as the is underway. So I'm not really sure how I feel this will go, Maldi, if I'm being entirely truthful with you. Maldi? Oh. Aye, looking, I'll just cover them in a while, Maldi is. We've got a few drivers changing into the mediums there at the last minute, so I do apologise for that, and I will update you on that just now, Kevin. VZ and Daigoro all in the medium tyres, so there is a slight split outside the top 10. But I'll cover until Maldi comes back. Hopefully he will come back in time to lead us through the 5 lights and get that hype going on the start. As Bruno will lead us away from Jamham, both sharing the front row as Davison puts in a late qualifying lap to improve. After looking a bit absent for the qualifying session to get himself up to Mercury, who Maldi was saying was they having the best of time practicing for this race, having a good bit of a mold at the session as well. So Mercury up in P4, strong result for him. CC, another strong showing, definitely rubber stamping his place in the STB. In the STB world with a P5, Billy WF looking to try and get some form back and try and get a good result under his belt, because he's not really had the best start to the season. Hamjam, as we were saying, out of kind of unfamiliar territory in P7, but he'll be looking to try and go forward on the start and hope for strategy. Wayne Churka, another strong showing for him, especially considering he's been absent for a few weeks this season. Fly having another strong showing there in P9. Victor and Kevin at Red Bulls, one of the top 10 was just inside. DJ Danny, don't really know what happened to him in qualifying. He was a bit absent on the radar as well, so he'll be looking to try and improve in the racing. He's always quite good at doing the reverse strategy, so he'll be one to watch as well as VZ and Daigoro, both in medium tyres as well. They're kind of in the middle, so they'll be too quick, but they'll know exactly be slow either. And we've got Matty Banner and Jildis on the hards at the end, just hoping to go long and try and ruffle the feathers of the drivers at the front. Maldi, are we here for the start?
We are ready for the start of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix Ritzy. Here we go here in Baku. It is 3 lights, it's 4 lights, it's 5 lights. The Baku Azerbaijan Grand Prix round 8 of the season. Bruno Will gets off to a decent start, but Jamham's going to follow him. Davies is in P3 now behind the 2 drivers around the outside of Jamham's going to be side by side. Ritzy down in the turn number 3 now. Oh, side by side, Jamham's lagging a bit. There's a bit of contact at the back. Daigoro is out of the Grand Prix. He's out. He's crashed out. Virtual safety car here in Baku. He's out of the race. He's absolutely effed it up there. Both Ferraris are out of the Grand Prix. Bruno Will leads and it's virtual safety car race. That is massive scenes here in Baku. Sorry.
We really don't want to compare it to real life, but that's just a peak thing really to have. I was trying to just like scroll through to see the midfield going through turn 1 because
the pit stop strategy.
Bruno Will, Jamham and Davison, Mercury, top 4 looked like they kind of filtered through turn 1 fine. There was no hassles between them at the front, but everybody was 2 by 2 in the midfield, and then I just seen Daigoro just getting a bit of a spin on at the back on the exit of turn 1, and looked like he collided with his teammate, and that's where the massive dual distance damage has come from, and Daigoro just get propelled from one side of the circuit to the next, and I think his wheel must have got ripped off, or they must have damaged the suspension or something in the process of that. And what equally disastrous is the fact that it's not even a full safety car for that incident to help Gilles get back into this race. He's already 16.5 seconds behind this pack, and he needs to pit because he most likely does have damage.
I think Joe left the session, Riggsy.
He's left?
Yeah, I think so. I think he left the session.
We'll need to see if we can try and get him back in.
Well, the lobby's messed up now, so...
Aye, the drivers are starting to kind of ghost for me, and it's just lap 3 and lap 2, and it's an Alpha Romeo 1.
Lap 3? Wow, these drives gone really fast, haven't they?
These laps are a lot shorter than I remember them to be.
I know.
We'll just have to grin and bear it while the timing screens sort themselves out and arrange themselves in the correct order. You can see the bottom of the screen there, the pit stop strategy there on Ham Jam is softs to hards, pit
Right, it's sorted out now.
So mediums as well, but as Maldi does say, we've got the timing screens back. Mercury right on the back of Davison, and Bruno will trying to push Jamham out of the DRS detection point. Jamham is just clinging on, but Bruno Will is definitely looking to push and put a charge on to try and break that slipstream early. Excuse me.
Davi's in there, little of the I don't know what corner that is. The corner with the wall on the right hand side where the drive, you know, you hit that inside wall and you're in the wall, Riggsy. You know, you lost your front wing. They got to be careful around there.
Up at turn 14.
I think so. Yeah. I wasn't quite sure what number it was, but it's a very iconic corner in Formula One. Slipstream then for Davison. DRS is going to be enabled this lap for Mercury. Sorry. Well, slipstream for all the drivers really down that long straight. Right, Jamham there's going to have DRS now, Riggsy, so he's going to be able to catch that, you know, have the gap decrease a little bit here in Baku. That's really what he needs. He just needs a bit of DRS, keep him in that slipstream, and then overtake, you know, try and go for some sort of overtake. But Mercury's looking pretty strong in Riggsy. P4 at the moment. Don't think he would be expecting to be in this position. So, good on Mercury for his good start.
It was a strong result for him in qualifying as well to kind of put him on the in the position he's in. But you can just see him with the interval time on the left hand side slowly adding up, and if he isn't too careful, that's going to be outside the DRS detection point, which it was there just for a brief moment. And he is just jumping in and out, and that's going to be crucial because if he loses DRS, then he can effectively say that he's lost touch with the top 3 as he gets close to the wall on the exit of 14. So he really needs to just kind of rally some of these curbs, keep the speed through some of these corners, and just kind of have the faith in the car that it will stick, just to make sure he's going to stay in the DRS, because if he can't keep Davison's DRS, he's going to be a sitting duck with Ham Jam behind.
Look at a sitting duck, Ham Jam, here we go, DRS. Activated down the straight. Here we go. Overtake mode. But obviously, this has got DRS now on Mercury. Difficult for the Mercedes driver. For the Mercedes on the inside, it's going to be a late brake move for Riggsy. Up the inside. Sweetie Jalopy's going to turn in. See? Oh, that was close. That was that could have been a crash there. That could have been them both out of the Baku Grand Prix there. That's not very good. But Hamjan will have to wait behind the 2 drivers now as Mercury gap now down 4 tenths. But from him and Zitzi, but yeah, Amjam there, that could have been a retirement for the Mercedes.
That so nearly could have been brutal there for the Mercedes. I think it was just a matter of, I think Zitzi was, I don't really know how to kind of judge that on a one viewing, like I'd have to kind of go back and see that, but like it just looked to me that Hamjam, if he was just a bit more relaxed on the brake pedal, let the car roll in a wee bit more, with a bit more speed, and just kind of squeeze seats out a wee bit. That corner could have been his, but because he kind of he braked a bit early and kind of done it half-heartedly, that allowed Seatsy to give him a pinch on the inside and just take a
yellow flag
line through there.
VC's crashed in the car, so this could be safety car.
And damage on the Haas.
Yeah, if you're parked in that position, you know, that location, that could have easily been a safety car there. So they've got to be careful, the drivers, they don't cause anything.
It's definitely, we don't want to be having drivers causing safety cars.
DRS, sorry Rixie, DRS for Victor, P11. Oh, here we
on
go.
the inside his teammate. Easy
Both will
as
be
you
racing
like.
in Tier 2 tomorrow. Picks up the inside. Late as you like.
Both Bills getting their practice in. Come tomorrow's race, which you can catch on this STB League channel. Where you'll have Mercury and who's the other co-commentator? It's normally
Danny.
Oh, it's Danny.
Gravity's having a few connection issues this week.
So that might explain why we've not seen him here then.
Yeah, unfortunately. So he can't connect to anything. But Zipsy's made a big mistake there. Oh, he's absolutely messed that up completely. Here in Baku. Yeah, there you go. Messed that up. Has he got a bit of damage?
Damage front left on the arm plate.
That gave Mercury some
you can just see it there. Just see it there. That's no hesitance through the castle section. That's just him knowing that he can't carry the speed because the car's going to understeer through there. If he just carries the speed, he's going to cause a traffic jam for everybody behind. Victor McFly, well, what I make quick work of this is we see Seats just cutting the club on the inside as well. So
he could go for hard and try to get them to the end.
this is normally a kind of pit window you'd see. It is a fraction early, but you would probably say a wee
Hamjam,
margin.
Riggsy, sorry Hamjam, not Hamjam, Riggsy. Hamjam has got DRS on Mercury down the straight, he's gone diving into the pit lane.
Oh, into the pit, so they are pitting
Early pit stop.
They are pitting.
They
are
as well.
pitting earlier than
Davison's in, sorry.
They are pitting earlier than a lap 7 pit window that's predicted on the AWS pit strategy.
Maybe they're going for undercut.
Telemetry, so they're going to try and go for an undercut onto the hard tyres. So that's Jamham, Davison, Hamjam, all in looking to get undercuts on Bruno and Mercury.
And Victor McFly as well.
An extra lap, Victor McFly in as well, looking to try and see if we can get any gains with some fresh hards. And the degradation here, I can't imagine it being too hard on the tyres, but
no, it isn't.
A street
I don't think it is.
With a street circuit, the only normally is the only is abrasive, but because there is such
Beast is retired.
Because there is such a frequency and high temperatures as well, as we see Bruno Will
in the pit
lane? Line through 14. He's in the pit lane now, Dave. Don't think he'll be interfere. Daigoro's left as well, so I mean,
that was not a good day for Ferrari.
Yeah, definitely no. Ferrari just really want to move on to Canada as well, so they just don't really want to be here for the rest of this race. They're just like, nah, we're going to go. Bruno Will is coming in, and this is purely.
Mercury's going to come in. Mercury's in as well. Same with Churka. Kevin's going to carry on. I think he's on set of medium, so Kevin's going to inherit the lead of the Baku Grand Prix.
And this is purely just to cover the bases of the undercut, so it'll be interesting to see where Bruno Will feeds it, where we see Jamham, we see DJ Danny coming through turn 1. Bruno Will does just manage to keep it in front of Jamham, and I think the gap has actually stayed the same. If Erin has worked out better for him because he got DJ Danny in front, and that's going to provide a buffer. Mercury's lost out to Cadbury just about, he goes for Jamham. Davison and Hamjam as well. So he's effectively only lost a place to Hamjam because he was behind Jam Ham and Davison on the track before the undercut. So Hamjam has managed to get a place through an undercut strategy.
Okay, this is very interesting, Riggsy. Mercury, looks like Hamjam's lost a lot of time in the pit lane. Mercury then will have DRS on Hamjam down the pit straight. Hamjam won't have DRS. So this could work out very well for Mercury, still on for getting this podium. If he can play his cards right. Right, has he lost a position? No, he was in P4, wasn't he? P4, P5?
Mercury has lost a place to Hamjam.
Oh, okay. That's not very good. I thought he gained it.
Because it was Bruno Will, Jamham, Davison top 3. They have effectively stayed with the red.
Oh yeah.
Hamjam has managed to undercut and he's got a place over Mercury. So Mercury is effectively a net P5.
Oh. My apologies, viewers. Right then, so Jamham then he's going to get let through by Danny. Danny's going to then get the slipstream. Can't speak today. Davison then behind Danny, Riggsy. So he needs to clear the Alfa Romeo as quickly as possible. Needs to get as many points as he can.
It should be easy work into 3. I don't think Danny's really going to have any traction on there. He does not. So Davison's just going to get up the inside and slip back onto the racing line, which he does.
I don't think starting on them hards, Riggsy, was a good idea. I know they're trying to go for the a different strategy, but the hards are just very slow for the first stint.
The hard tyres at the start is quite a burden on the driver because the car's going to feel its absolute worst at the start because it's going to feel cold, it's going to feel sink, it's got full fuel, it's got cold temperatures, it's start a car, so it's not really going to feel in tip-top shape at the start. Yellow flags in sector 2. Looks to be something near the back, but the hard tyre strategy is the strategy you really want to go on, really, because you want to be quick at the start.
Yeah.
Gameplay is on the starting stint and just kind of deal with it as you go along rather than going the hards, nurse your tyres, nurse your fuel, nurse your ERS, just micromanage the car, and then at the end, from at lap 20, like they'll go to the lap 20 just to go for 6 laps of pure speed at the end on a light car. Like, I don't actually see the point in that at all because you're just going to continuously lose time. So the hard strategy at the start of just about any race is a bit of a mystery for me in that sense because even that as well, like you can have a safety car that comes in and effectively ruins the strategy. You can pick up damage which effectively puts you into a stop and that's slower most circuits as well. So you definitely kind of ride high with the risk on a hard tyre start, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't really understand it, because I think the only track that I would rate is probably, well, not a street circuit like Azerbaijan. Let's just say that. So yeah, it's not a very good decision. I wouldn't normally do it, but who knows? Danny, Matty, whoever might get a podium tonight. Who knows? It could all work out for them. Oh, Hamjam looks like he's had a bit of a problem. Hamjam has been overtaken. He's got damage.
Let's see. Oh, front right. Yep, the end plate's off. The full
he's
front
crashed
right
it in the castle.
Damage. That's not going to be good, and that's going to definitely throw him on a different strategy as well. I don't even know Maldi. He will have a set of mediums there, but I don't really know what he's. I don't really know if they'll last 16 laps. So I think he might just try and. He has to get the wide WWF's coming through. Yep, there he is, quite sensible there for the Mercedes. So he will most likely just be coming in as we do see Jam getting by Matt up at the front. Hamjam will be coming to the pits for some repairs. So that's definitely know how he would have wanted his race to go. But is Matt going to try and come back on Jamham in turn 3?
Davison needs to try and clear him. And there's a P2 this.
Right there is, oh, that's no wise. See, that's the thing as well. Matt's tyres are going to be so much older as well, so he's even any general grip. He's locking up into some of these tight turns, so the more he locks up, the more he has to slow the car down, and the more he gets to slow the car down, the more he's slowing Davison down as well, and that's going to allow Jamham to build a gap, and that's going to be key. Davison needs to make the move now. He needs to be urgent. He needs to be urgent, but he needs to be clinical. He can't afford to pick up any damage, but he can't afford to just sit in the slipstream and not make a move. He needs to get some work done.
So Davison then, 5 tenths is the gap to Matty, and he is losing time to Jamham. See, Rixie, Davison needs to beat Bruno Will, and he's not doing that at the moment. He needs to pull something out the bag and fast, because he is struggling here in Baku. Like, he needs to beat Bruno Will. If he has any chance, of keeping this championship fight alive.
See, I still feel like, of course you want to pick up points at every possible opportunity, but if Bruno Will's just going to have races like these, where he is going to just be untouchable at the front, he is 3.7 seconds in front of Jam, so he has a bit of an unassailable lead at the minute, but if he's just going to have these decent gaps at the front, and he's just going to manage the race top to bottom, start to finish, and just have an absolutely flawless run to the flag, then it's going to spell danger for drivers that are going to be competing in the championship for the title. Bruno Will did give Dominic a good run last season, but he just fell short in the end, so Bruno Will's definitely going to try and avenge his narrow miss last season, and that's probably going to explain why he's so quick this season. Like, he's had some extremely just outstanding performances already this season, and there's still 2/3 of the season left to just show what you really have got in the tank for us as commentators, for the viewers. Like, you have a lot of opportunity to show just how good you can be, and I think we've got a move out to be shaped up as well. Maldi Davison is right on the back of Jamham, coming down the straight into lap 4, into lap 12.
No overtake mode though, so that's interesting, but you still got the overtake done. There you go, sweet as you like. Round the outside, there you go. Thank you very much, P number 3.
I think Jamham was just being a bit sensible with the move there. I think, like, you knew just Davison was carrying so much speed on the back of that Williams, and maybe it is just a bit of a tactical thing as well. Maybe try and save some ERS while sitting in the slipstream and just hope that Davison tows you along, because like, I think that's kind of what he's been trying to do.
Oh, Merkel's in the pit lane with him.
Merkel in the pits onto a set of mediums. I don't know if he had picked up some damage as well, so
Maybe did. Churka as well came in.
Mercury and Chucker in the pits.
You're tired, Rixie?
I'm a wee bit. It's been a very long day. I had my first day at uni again. It was all online though, so it was a very long day at uni. I never slept, and with respect, it's just been a very long day. In my opinion, it's not an opinion. That's fact, because it is my day. But it's been a long day.
Well, it's not been a very long day for because he's been able to get the gap down now to 1 second now. So here we go, DRS activation now for Bruno Will. This is what he needs now. It's his fellow countryman Kevin. But look at this. It's a Brazilian 1-2-3 Rixie. They are repping it well for Brazil. And Kevin's in.
It's a podium sweep. Well, as it stands, but Kevin will come in, so that will most likely change. does.
I want to know what happened with Mercury. That's not very good at all, is it? P11 now. He was definitely on for at least the top 5.
And talk about somebody that could be looking to try and get himself into the top 5 fight at the end of the race with CC. Looking at the back of Victor McFly, both on the hard strategy, same life, same tyre life, same strategy, on to the end. This
Not
is
the same ERS
fighting for the 5th. The ERS marginally different. Yellow flags in the 3rd. That's for Shirka, who had the best return to STB there, and he's just retired in the pit lane, packed up, and he said that he wants to get the session that he would have hoped to have had. As we see Billy WF there in the background.
Billy's done it. There you go. Yeah, Billy's completely messed that up. Yeah, there you go. Out of the Grand Prix there.
Because I was on board with, the broadcast camera with CC on the run down to turn 7, and it just, you know, the camera angle that just shows you all the way down to that turn 5-6 chicane. Yeah. You just seen like Kevin filtering through, you seen Victor coming out, you just seen Billy's McLaren just coming out, and you just seen it disappearing to the right, and I'm like, oh, he's had a spin, he's away. He's just I don't really know what else he needs to do now.
I mean, he had a good qualifying, and then he dropped back as well in the start of the Grand Prix, and now he just can't. You can't convert a good qualifying into a good race, and he's had that now for a good few weeks. But Zitz is able to definitely convert a good qualifying into a race. Here we go. But Victor McFly's going to go around the outside here. This is good defending from the AlphaTauri. Here we go then. And yeah, you can't defend that. We will have DRS now, Ritzis. This could be a little cheeky overtake here, but he doesn't have an overtake, so that's not very good for Victor McFly. But Zitzi then P6 for him. That's pretty decent there from the Renault.
Definitely representing for the Renault rivals as well, the Renault team as well. So try and get some strong points. But that's the kind of thing as well. Like you might not really think it when you're racing. Billy does retire in the pit lane. That spin has been the final nail in his coffin. So we'll hopefully see him next time in Canada. But I think like what most drivers are a bit subconscious to in this race is the fact that when they're just sitting in the slipstream, they're just helping the drivers save ERS, manage ERS, and then they switch, and then the driver that was at the front,
I must say, this track talking about ERS, the track is actually quite easy to save the ERS. There's a lot of hard braking zones, you know, in the second sector especially, and the hairpins in sector 1. So it is actually quite easy to save the ERS. But yeah, Kevin's got loads compared to Victor McFly now. Look at Kevin.
And he's closing speeds. His closing speeds are unmatched.
Might even get Zitzy as well here. Oh, look at the pace from the Red Bull driver. Look at that.
That's some fresh set of hards there, and he should get. Oh, and he's loped up going into turn 2, and that's going to ruin any potential for a move into turn 3. And but I feel like Kevin is just playing a game of patience here. He just needs to be alert to when the opportunity arises. I think it's really just a matter of when rather than if for the Red Bull driver making a move.
Yeah, I think that's a very good strategy that Kevin's done. I do like watching these Tier 1 races, Rixie. It allows me to understand what strategy could potentially be better tomorrow, and I think Kevin's strategy could definitely be one to look out for tomorrow.
Definitely, because he is going to be he is definitely going to be one of the quicker drivers on the track as well, purely because he is on the freshest set of hard tyres. He's also on the freshest set of tyres full stop, but so he's definitely going to be the one packing some speed at this stage in the race, so he will be one to watch. He will be inheriting, if he gets past Seatsy, this is technically going to be P4 Maldi, because we've got Matt and DJ Danny still to pit, so this is effectively a battle for fourth. What's going to be key here for Kevin and Seatsy is Seatsy's going to have Danny's DRS, which means Kevin's not going to have the move done and dusted on the condition that Danny's going to be there on the track, because Seatsy's going to have DRS as a defence. So once DJ Danny gets cleared by both the drivers, then I think that's when Kevin's going to start building up his challenge again, because he's not going to get it so long as Seatsy's got DRS at the slipstream.
Yeah. Sitsy then obviously closing now in on Danny. Danny's on very, very worn hard compound tyres now, Rixie, so he's going to have a lot of struggles if he can, get those tyres a little bit further. Matt's in a much better position than Danny at the moment, but if Danny can get a little bit further on, then he's going to be very, very quick on them softs.
That's the thing as well, really, when you think about it. Like, looking at it, like, where does a pit stop run here is about 22 seconds. It's quite a short pit lane. It's quite a slow pit lane as well, and it's got a tight exit. So a 22-second pit lane. I'm going to just check that. So 22 seconds. Say pitting. Say the gaps were the way they were now, and he pitted. He would come out just behind Mercury. Maybe a couple of seconds behind Mercury, and that's just outside the points. And all you're really going to get realistically is that P10. Like, that's kind of it. Like,
maybe fastest lap, but apart from that, he won't really be able to. Because it is Baku, but it's still quite difficult to overtake around the circuit because. DRS drivers can have DRS, drivers are quite close together already, so it's going to be difficult. But
I don't know, Maldi.
I mean, yeah, but
don't think
Kevin's in a good position here, Ridley. I think Kevin could potentially get a P for it.
He definitely will have an opportunity, but he definitely needs to make a move with Danny now, because Cece's just getting past Granny turn 3, so Kevin needs to get past or face losing Cece for a bit, and if you lose touch with Cece, it's quite hard. Once you lose DRS, it's quite hard to do something back in. But that's the kind of thing as well, Maldi. Like the hard tyre strategy at the start, I don't think really it doesn't accumulate to anything. It just puts you at the back, and I think it just puts you like further out of touch than.
I think it just gives you more airtime, to be fair, because we're just thinking, why are they on soft or why are they hard? We've spoken more, Rixie, about Danny and Matt going on the hards than about Bruno Will this race. So that is very good airtime for Alfa Romeo and Racing Point.
I mean, Bruno Will, I don't think Bruno Will be caring about his airtime so long as he's leading. He's been very, he's been, I won't say invincible, I think that's maybe too strong a word at this stage, but he's been untouchable. Like, I think there is a difference between the two words, but, but we've got Kevin getting up, running the outside of Danny, getting into the braking zone in turn 1, so Cece and Kevin, this is a chase for P4, game on.
Yes, Rigsy. Right, if you'd excuse me, sorry, Rigsy, I just need to quickly go do something. You excuse me. You can take us through this battle between Kevin and Zitz. It's really hotting up. So I hope I don't miss much. I'll be back as soon as possible. And Danny P7, he'll be looking to pit very soon.
Oh, we'll wait until Maldi gets back, but it is a four-way battle here. There's a wee train here, just getting turn 5 and 6. Danny was the head of the train, but he is slowly finding himself just on the decline, going backwards. Kevin seats there on the way past it. Fly will be next, and FXBR Victor will be trying to look for a way past as well. It is definitely just going to be a chase to the flag, I think, between CC and Kevin, and this is going to be for P4. because we've still got Matt needing to come in. They will be looking to pit about lap 19, 20, fresh set of softs. We'll see them get to the end, and they will most likely pick up the accolade of the fastest lap as well, so that will be an extra point on the condition that they get the top 10 as well. So we'll get DJ Danny under pressure for Victor McFly. Victor McFly is in the slipstream, overtake is enabled, DRS is open, and DJ Danny just keeps the car to the left and he dives into the pits, and he knows that's his hard tyre strategy running. Matty Banter is in as well, and they'll both be going on to a set of soft tyres as well, so they are going to be the quickest on the track, as they're going to try and light it up with some fresh rubber on a light car with very little fuel, so they will be setting some, they should be setting some blister lap times come the end of the session. But we've got Victor McFly defending the FXBR Victor. This is another battle as well, it's kind of heating up as well. Kevin is slowly he is just outside the DRS detection point, but we've got FXBR Victor and Victor McFly in another battle, and this is 56. So two battles going on right next to each other, so this can definitely be interesting. We're going to see the back two, we're going to see Fly and Victor maybe use the slipstream and try and close in, and Kevin and CC make it a fully battle for fourth. It's going to be two separate battles. What's going to happen, we'll get just 6.5 laps to find out. Bruno Will is about to start lap 20 of 26, and this is the final stretch of the race. This is when it's all going to be done and dusted, said and done. This is when it really matters. Positions are key. But CC just looking like untroubled. He has to, I want to say untroubled per se, but he's definitely just managing the gap at this point. ERS is a bit worse for wear, but Kevin has definitely got the upper hand there, so Kevin will probably just be biding his time for when he can just unleash the tank down the straight if he is close enough. If he can really pressure CC into a mistake on the run up to the big straight, so he has a prime opportunity to make it. You don't really want to make it early, so I don't expect a move this lap or the next. I'd expect it about lap 24, 25, even the last lap, because you don't really want to give your opponent much opportunity to try and get back in and try and get a move back at you. You don't want to give them an opportunity to try and do you what you did to them. So I think Kevin, Victor McFly, Victor, they'll all just be biding their time with their moves. They'll not be wanting to go for some radical lunges early. They'll be waiting to just do it near the end, where their opponent isn't really going to have much time to react to anything. So it'll definitely be interesting come the end. I have to apologise for the yawning. It's been a bit of it's been a long day. But we've got Victor in the slipstream of Victor McFly. Victor McFly is going to go to the left, to the inside, to defend the inside, but it's not going to be enough for Victor, who just steams round the outside, easy as you like, is what Maldi would say. Round the outside, into one, easy Ozzy, and up into P6 goes Victor. So he's saying he'll be a bit more methodical in terms of making the move late in the race. He's just completely been blown out the water, but is Victor McFly going to be close enough for a move once again? Both of them on the same tyre life, 14 lap old hards, same strategy to the end. So it's a battle of driver skill at this point. And Kevin, as we were saying earlier, just slowly connecting into the gap, just going to wait until he gets into the DRS zone just to go boom, unleash the tank, press the button, and just shoot the DRS out the back of the car and just get that extra 160 brake horsepower that you get in the engine to help along the straight lines. This normally does add up to like another 6, 7, maybe even 8 miles per hour. So the straight line speed advantage through your energy connect system is quite key, it's quite important. So Kevin's got plenty of that to spare, and he's able just to kind of keep up and just kind of keep CC at an arm's length here. He doesn't really want to keep him much further than that. So yeah, Kevin really just looking like he has just managed his time with the DRS. He actually does not, so he must have just been outside the 1 second window there, getting into the DRS detection point. But it's just the same again. Status quo once more for another lap. CC 6/10 a second. ahead of Kevin. Victor McFly and Victor battling for P6. They aren't really too close to see that they're going to be. They aren't really going to be battling each other at any point soon. DJ Danny and Matty Banter are just looking to try and put some good times in on the soft tyres. And Matt actually, I didn't actually notice this, is actually closing in on Victor McFly. 2.6 seconds the gap on some fresh softs as well, and you can just see him, that's him right there. So it's nothing between the racing point and the Alpha Tauri. It's a clean run to P7 for Matt, so he is going to be one to watch in these final laps as well and see if he can keep the fresh pace on the fresh softs. So he will be one to watch, and he's got some good DRS to burn as well. He's sitting in the mid 40s, so I'm in the mid 40s, he was 95 now, so he did burn some yellow flags, and that's for Ham Jam, mistake at the castle section. He's definitely just not a race to remember. Oh, and Matt nearly ran into the wall there. That was very close. The racing point there, nearly into the wall, so that so nearly could have been an accident there for the racing point. Don't know what happened. We did
Hello.
in the last possible moment. That's Maldi back. Maldi, we've got an extra component on Kevin's goodbye seat save. We've missed that as well, but we've got Matt slowly closing in on this battle. We've got Matt closing in on the battle.
It's the DRS up the inside of the Red Bull. Here we go. There you go. Up the inside. There you go. Straight into like P number 4 for the Renault.
And Kevin is just going to have to settle for being behind once more. And another battle that's kind of unfolding, Maldi, is the battle for P6. It was Victor and Victor McFly, but now Matt is going to sell in here as well. He's kind of threw his name into the hat on the soft tyres, and he's just kind of, he's completely shredded the gap. And he's on much fresher and much quicker soft tyres, so be easy pickings once he gets close enough. It has a wee twitch through the castle section though, which is definitely not going to be ideal. Don't really want to have your brush with death through the castle section and picking up any damage. We had Ham Jam pit as well, Maldi. He clipped the wall at the castle section as well, so he's definitely not had a race to be worth sticking on the fridge. So been a quite frankly a bit of a shocker for them, so he'll be definitely just trying to try and find out where it went wrong here and try and correct it for a week's time when we go to Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal. That is going to be a track that I love, and a track that a lot of drivers love as well. So I think that's going to be a very good.
Sorry, Maldi, we've got a late move from Matt.
That's going to be a good race, and Matt's going to have a better race than next week in Canada than that, because that was a very audacious move there up the inside, and he's absolutely binged it there. P8 now, and that is, there you go. He messed that up completely there, didn't he?
I was on board with him doing that back straight into the braking zone, and it was just looked so scary, Maldi. Oh, and he's got damaged and I don't know if he's ruined Victor's race. Has Victor got damage? Can't really see. I don't think he does. I don't think Victor McFly does. I don't even know what was Matt doing. I think his hip must have just kind of fell out his back passage there, man. Like, because you seen Victor McFly just like just using his reference points going into turn 1, and then the next time we knew, we just seen Matt just flying into turn 1, and he nearly took Victor out as well. Like, Victor was already halfway through turn 1, and then we nearly seen Matt just kind of knocking Victor into the void.
I know Matt. Very. I think Matt just should have just not went for the overtake. Really, I think he just should stay back personally. But Kevin now's gonna have another go on the back of Zitzi then.
Is he going to get close enough in the slipstream? He is. Zitzi keeps the car central.
Here we go. Is he going to get on the inside? Kevin now, the tier 2 driver. But no, he can't do it. He's had a great strategy here today, hasn't he, Riggsy? Starting on them mediums, it's definitely helped him out. I might do that tomorrow, personally.
The mediums, they've been quite good for him because the mediums have he's been doing representable laps on the mediums. The mediums, him on the mediums wasn't exactly slow either, so being on the mediums wasn't exactly slow, so he did put in good lap times, get to about lap 11, lap 12, and then he's got fresher hards than everybody else as well, so he might have lost maybe a couple of seconds on the hand to drivers on the softs, but because he does it on the softs, had to put a lot earlier for the hards. They're going to have much better warm hards, and he's going to have fresher hards. So it kind of strikes a balance because you're going to have fresh mediums, decent pace, durability in the first stint, and then in the second stint you're going to have fresh hards, durability, pace at the end. And I think Kevin's kind of hit a sweet note there, and I think his strategy has been at least recommendable in my opinion.
Definitely. Personally, I would have started on softs, but I mean it's definitely worked out for him. But anyway, final lap now as we're approaching. DRS is now going to be for Kevin, but he's going to be low on ERS rig, so that's going to be very detrimental for the end of this lap, so he needs to try and save some this lap. Here we go, around the outside. It's a different line from last lap, Riggsy, but he's maybe able to take on Zitzi there as Hamjam has picked up a penalty. But, I mean, that won't really do anything for him. He's in P11 anyway, so... Oh, Victor versus Victor McFly, Riggsy. Victor McFly's got the overtake done. That's a good overtake there.
Up the inside, Victor's going to come back.
Oh, look at this.
Run the outside.
We'll have to keep an eye on that, Riggsy.
Small lock-ups. Into 3 and into 4 for the Red Bull in front. Doesn't really add up too much, but they keep their place. Kevin and Zitzi, Kevin walking up into turn 7 castle section for the final time for all the drivers on lap 26 or 26. The sun has been shining throughout this race.
Riggsy coming through the final sector, the final fast flowing corners of the circuit. BR Bruno will, before we go to any battles that are happening, BR Bruno will wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And that is another victory to his name in STB. He wins the Baku Grand Prix. Second will be Davizin. Very good performance from him there. He needed that second place, needed as many points as possible. Third will be Jamham. But who will be fourth? Kevin or Zitzi? Is it going to be enough for Zitzi? I don't think it will be, Riggsy. We're going to find out. Third is Jamham.
He just looks too far back.
Fourth is Kevin.
I think Kevin's just got it.
Fifth is Zitzi, but who's going to get it? Victor or Victor McFly? Victor McFly's going to have the pace, but he's got no ERS. Going to be so close to the line. Victor will beat Victor McFly there to P6. 7th is Victor McFly. 8th is Danny. Blended performance from him there. He's got 4 points. That's, better. Matt's got no front wing here, but he is going to finish in P9 in his racing point.
You can he's sitting there just like throwing the steering wheel left and right, and it literally has zero effect on a straight. because there's no downforce on the front end of that car. As Mercury across the line of P10, Hamjam spins across the line of P11 and it's headed through this. Well, his AI just having a wee Sunday drive on a Monday night into P12 as he just decides to park up right at the end of right at the entry of the pit lane. It was a bit random. But it is Bruno Will. Quiet race at the front, but I don't think he'll really complain too much about that.
10 seconds I think the gap was, Rigson. So very, very, very dominant display there from the Brazilian. You said that he was not invincible today. He was untouchable. I think he was invincible today, Rigson. That was an incredible drive from the Brazilian driver.
I might need to upgrade my word use for untouchable to invincible this one time. He just had so much more pace, and you can just see that Bruno Will was just commanding the race for the start, for the front, untouchable. I think he almost led every lap as well, Grand Slam anyway, because the fastest lap is somehow a 28.8. But it is what it is. But it is Bruno Will, Davison, a Brazilian 1-2 there, Mercedes and Williams, both Mercedes powered, both driven by Brazilians. Jamham and the Haas rounds out the podium with a P3. Kevin with a strong P4 after starting 11th. Seats 8 started 5th, finishes 5th. Victor up to P6, just keeping Victor McFly at bay on the line as it was a dead heat up to the checkered flag, but it was the Brazilian and the Red Bull that just kept his cool and had a couple of inches over the AlphaTauri. DJ Danny, a quiet race, saw him in P8. Matt was so close to getting a strong result, but ended up making a mistake, ended up P9. Mercury getting the final point, and Hamjam just no really having the race that he would have wanted into Baku. He'll definitely just be trying to look for some newfound confidence getting into Montreal and trying to figure out where it all went wrong here.
Definitely. Right then, we are going to have to close things up quite quickly this evening because I have to go abruptly. But we're going to interview Jamham here, who finished in P3. Jamham, another solid performance for you, P3. Take it quickly, briefly, tell us about your race and how you're feeling about your race here in Baku.
Yeah, well, quali was good. P2. I was hoping I could stay with Bruno Will, but he was just a bit too quick. And then once Davison got past me, just didn't have the pace to match those two on the hards. They were on another level. But yeah, just kind of kept it out the walls after that. Didn't push as much as I could have done. But yeah, just knew I'd get third if I did that. And yeah, happy with another podium again.
Yeah, definitely. And how are you feeling ahead of next week's Canadian Grand Prix? Is it a track that you enjoy?
Yeah, I quite like Canada, and I reckon being on the wheel probably gives me a bit of an advantage as well over some. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Okay,
well, well done on your P3. Rigsy, thank you for joining me tonight here in Azerbaijan. Well done to everyone that competed this evening. Well done to the podium finishers, Jamham, Davison and Bruno Will. We will see you next week for Tier 1 in Canada. But if you want to stop by tomorrow, it's the Tier 2 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We'll see you tomorrow for Baku, and if not, we'll see you next week for the Tier 1 Canadian Grand Prix live from Montreal. We'll see you next week.